Hey, Sunshine. I'm so excited to be here tonight. OMG. We've been backstage just talking about how blessed we feel to be able to come to you tonight to talk about your mental health. This is important to each and every one of the ladies that's on here. They agreed. This is a long weekend for everybody, but they said yes to the call. Would you please come and talk about mental health before the month is out? Because you all know this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we just want to address some professional side and some personal side of this topic. And I believe now for me, it's just going to be strictly personal because I don't have the professional credentials like the other ladies on the panel. So, but just the disclaimer is this is for informational purposes only. And I'll put one up on the screen. I used to have one. I don't know what's wrong. Twitter just gonna try to make my life miserable. Why they keep popping up? Something is wrong with Twitter. But I'll put a disclaimer up on the screen just so that you could be aware. If you start to feel any type of way, please get help. Call your local doctor. Go to the emergency room. And if this triggers you in any type of way, definitely reach out because we want to help. And so here we go. I'm Sunshine, and this is Conversations with Celena. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give you just a moment to share this video. And if any of the ladies on here need to share as well to their page, I think we're going to just go right up over here. Y'all pray for me because this is a Mac and I'm not used to it, but here we go.
Hey, Sunshine. Hey, Sunshine.
All right, I ain't play it all the way. Y'all know it. Y'all know what it says. It just says, "Hey, Sunshine," and go subscribe. And we're everywhere now. So we're on Apple Play, Google Play. I don't even know if it's Apple Play. It could be just Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and I would say Twitter, but something going on with Twitter since they're in the merger. But also Twitch. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Sunshine Body Butters. Please reach out to Miss Jackie or Mr. Mike. They are giving a special. If you mention CWC Spring 22, you get 10% off of your body butters, and everything is $10. You get the spray, the oil, or the body butter. Don't spend all that money. Y'all could be smelling wonderful, wonderful for the low, low price of $10 with 10% off. How does that sound? You get a percentage off. You want to buy more. Be like, give me one of those, because y'all should have seen my bag the other day full of stuff. And you know what? We'll give away one tonight because that helps your mental health. When you take care of yourself, self-care, if it's something as simple as taking a shower, that's like water therapy, and putting you some smell good on, just a little bit of something, it helps boost you up. And so we're going to get into all of that tonight, but I definitely had to say that because I want to make sure that you all know that that's what we're doing. Hey, Miss Chocolate. All right, y'all already in here. My Isha, Angela. Okay, well, we're going to go right next door to me, Quadidra Wilson. Did I get it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at me, because I messed it up, y'all, right before we went live. I will tell on myself, but we're gonna call her Z tonight for the sake of not mispronouncing anything. So tell us what you do and why this is important to you.
What do? I do a lot of things.
Everything. Give us a summary, girl.
I am a creator. That's what most people know me as. I do photography and videography. I have a technology degree as well, so I do a bit of web design and other things in that industry. But Most recently, I became a peer support specialist, and that is a position that is under the Department of Mental Health. And pretty much I've connected with organizations like NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I am currently in the process of being trained as a program facilitator, and I do a lot of their marketing as well. So I'm really connected with those types of organizations and really trying to impact communities all around. And yeah, that's what I do.
All right, girl. All right, Miss Virginia, you come on and give us your bio.
Well, I want to say good evening to the ladies on the panel and yourself and everyone that's viewing. I'm Virginia Wilson. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I specialize in mental health and behavioral health services. I've been counseling probably over 30 years, telling my age, of course. But mental health is really important to me because it drives everything. It drives relationships. It drives families. The health of someone definitely is the hallmark of whether or not a person is thriving. So being a mental health professional, I always want to see someone being the best version of themselves that they can be. And oftentimes they're not aware of the services that are available to them. And there's such a stigma. But my goal is to stay on assignment and to make sure that I can support one, if not a million, to better mental health.
Yes, yes. That was my amen. You ain't have to stop.
Amen. Amen. I'm
Amen.
done.
So, Miss Virginia, how do we get in touch with you?
Um,
I mean, is it for you say that that's what you do? Do you like see people, or are you just at a facility where it's in house
Well, right now I
individual
do
care?
private practice. I do virtual. I work in a school. I can give you my cell number, which I use as my business number, if anyone's interested in getting in contact with me. Don't have a lot of availability because I got a lot of irons in the fire right now, but I do have a lot of referral sources in case someone needs help. But
Mhm.
if someone's open to virtual, I mean, I'm more flexible that way than in an office setting. So I'd be glad to give that information to you.
Okay. All right. You want to give me the number, or you just want to give it out as needed?
I can give it to you. If anyone has any questions, they can call 985-503-0760. And that is the number that they can reach me to either schedule, to get an assessment, or to get a referral
So
for
that's nine eight
services.
five 503. What was it?
0760.
Okay. There it is. I didn't have time to put the dashes. Y'all know dashes. You have to put
Okay.
dashes when you're dialing. But it's 985-503-0760.
60. And I'm on directories if you have like Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Optum, different insurance panels will have me as part of their directory.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, Miss Randy, come on. Give us your bio, baby girl.
Yes, I'm Randy Fowler. I am a licensed social worker. I have a master's degree in social work. I work with the Department of Child Protection Services in Pearl River County. Um, the reason mental health awareness is important to me is because I see on a daily basis how the lack of mental health care affects families whenever they've gone through different traumas. And I want to bring awareness to the fact that you can get help and that there are resources out there in order to help you. And I've experienced some mental health issues myself in my past. So I know what the lack of help will do if you don't seek the help that you need in regards to your mental health.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think that applies to most people that go into the fields like social work and different things like that because you've been there. And so it's your heart's desire to help someone else get out sooner or not go in, see the signs early on and say, listen, these are things that you can do in order to protect your mental health because there is that stigma oh, they crazy, you know. And if you hear somebody went to the hospital, oh, they went to the paddy wagon camp, you know, they just say all sorts of things. Straight jacket, Whitfield, you just you name it, and people want to just shy back from that because they feel like they'll be labeled their entire life like they're crazy. And it has nothing to do with being crazy. It is part of your health. You have physical health that you take care of, so why not your mental health?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what about your contact information? Are you making yourself available if anyone needs to contact you?
Yes, you can reach me on my cell number. I'll actually give you both my personal and my work cell. 769 798 8072. That's my work cell. And then my personal is 601 569 6490. And I'm available for anybody that wants to talk, need resources. I'm here to help and offer my assistance.
That was 569 what?
601 569 6490.
6490. Okay. So the reason that we're taking time in the beginning to get this out there is because a lot of times when things happen, it happens like right then, and you need help. Like you need to call somebody, and it's a matter of life and death, really and truly. I've had people tell me, "You saved my life," and it was just through what? Let me grab one. A phone call. You don't have to be in person. It could literally be a phone call away. So this is important just to take out time because these ladies are so serious about helping that these are personal cell phones that they're giving out. People don't do that. That doesn't usually happen. If you had a personal cell phone, you keep that personal. But here we are live on Facebook and all these other platforms saying, if you need us, we're available. Now, everyone else on the panel, what did I say, are professionals. So y'all call them first before you call me. But I will get through to them if you call me. So don't hesitate to call any one of us. So this would be Miss Randy's information. 769-798-8072 is work. 601-569-6490 is her personal. And I'll put this to go across the bottom in just a little bit. And I'm going to go right back to Miss Z so that I can get her information, the number that she wants to make available. You giving out your personal cell too? She's like, wait, let me see.
Yeah. I'm
Let
going
me
to
give you that throwaway number.
I'm still learning my office numbers. I had to look it up. 769.
Okay,
242.
262?
242.
Oh, 242. Okay.
0348.
0348. All
And that'll be
right.
my office number. And then my cell number
Oh, y'all getting two numbers tonight. Okay.
is 504-248-8602.
248
8602.
8602 8602. Here we go. All right, there's Miss Z's information. 769-242-0348. That's her office, and her cell is 504-248-8602. So y'all can write these numbers down right now on the video. It's always there permanently as long as Facebook and YouTube are up and running, so you can always access them. Hello, y'all. Somebody says, hey, Randy, I missed you at work. Did you play hooky today and hear you on live today?
I did not play hooky.
But can I say this too? Even though we provided those numbers, if it's actually a mental health crisis, of course, the person needs to go to their local ER, call the police. You don't want to wait and try to get in touch with just us because, you know, our lives are busy and we're not always readily available, even though we will return the calls. But if it's a mental health crisis, 911 or go to your local ER is the best bet going, because there's always someone there that will offer assistance and assess you. Or, like I said, the police or whoever can transport you to a facility for help, especially if you're in crisis.
Mhm. Yeah. There are several crisis units in Mississippi. And also next month, there is a national launch of 988, which is pretty much a subsidiary to 911. It'll be strictly for mental health calls, and it'll be able to get you to a crisis unit and get you other resources as well. So that goes live next month across the country.
And what is that one?
988.
988. And that's available next
So
month.
it'll be an alternative to 911.
Okay. Thank y'all for that information. See, that's why 4 is better than 1. Oh, I appreciate that. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm just gonna make a note that 988. Pop this up there real quick. That'll be available next month. 988. If you see it, you're more likely to remember it. So I just wanted to pop that up there real quick. So we're gonna start with you, Miss Z. Mm-hmm. That's because you're right across. That's because you're right across from me. You want me to go to Miss Virginia first?
No, it doesn't matter. I'm
Okay.
ready.
You ready? Okay.
So,
So we just having a conversation. It's not really, questions or whatever. I know you just had a event yesterday, right? In Jackson? Was that yesterday?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did they do as far as the information available that you can share with us about, the mental health awareness that they provided?
Well, that was more of like a press conference. The Department of Mental Health wanted to host that just to kind of get the word out. Definitely about 988 that's coming up, that initiative, and also NAMI Mississippi. They're hosting several NAMI walks this year, which will be a 5K walk that is pretty much dedicated to raising funds for mental health awareness. And there's a lot of good things happening. Right now, we're trying to the goal is to increase community-based care. We want to prevent people from getting to the point of needing crisis care. So we're trying to really be in the community, be active, create programs, and just have resources available for everyday people.
So how do you think that we can make them feel comfortable for the resources? Because even though they may not be local right now, there's national resources available, and people still don't reach out because of the stigma that we talked about earlier when we got started.
Yeah,
How do you think?
And honestly, that's one of the reasons I became a peer support specialist, because for me, peer support is that connection to the community that clinicians don't have. So it is someone with lived experience, it's someone that's relatable, it's someone that you see every day versus going to the doctor and having to, openly tell them everything. It's someone that you can, just they meet you where you are. So for me, that is why I became a peer support specialist.
Okay. All right, Miss Virginia, what you want to chime in on that and say?
I want to say that each of us knows someone with mental illness or mental disorders. And I think even if we're just family members or friends, we can be just as important as any professional as far as talking to. Most people suffering with some type of mental illness, most times they just want to be heard. And a lot of times us just sitting in silence and allowing that person to talk about what's on their mind and what's in their heart is freeing, and it helps them put things in perspective. And if it becomes a lot more serious than that, of course, you can always reach out to a professional. But like she said, that if there's a peer support, if there's a family member, someone that you trust, if there's someone in the church, in the schools, wherever, you have a trusted member that you can go to, it's important that you talk about what's bothering you. Most people suffer in silence. and sometimes it's the silence that speaks volumes about a person's life, you know. And as professionals, I mean, I always say that I always see what they don't want me to see, and I always hear what they won't tell me. But I'm not always around them, like she said. But you are, you know, anyone that's listening or anyone that has a family member that's struggling, you know, when there's changes in mood, changes in attitude, changes in their rhythm, the way they go to work or not go to work, whether they eat or don't eat, whether they sleep or don't sleep. You're closer to that person than we are. Oftentimes we're kind of the last resort. We're the ones that get it when things have already hit the fan. So I think it's important that people know that they can reach out to family and friends as well.
What is that? Y'all hear that?
I don't know what that
Mhm.
is.
I thought that was
Oh,
It appears my yard man decided to come today. So
I was like, what in the world?
so that's what you hear in the background. He's currently outside
Like
mowing.
everything is off here. Like what's on?
I had to say, did y'all hear that? Because I didn't know if it was just me. I was about to go in crisis mode and be like
Mhm.
dialing 911 because I was like, is anybody else hearing that noise other than just me? Oh, Lord. But yes, Miss Virginia, you are so right about that. I mean, because I'm on the phone all day long, you know, listening to people, trying not to talk as much, but just do more listening because a lot of times people really just want to be heard. They want to get it out and they want to know that you are willing to take time out to listen. That right there makes them feel okay, I'm being heard. That must mean I'm valued, at least by this person that's taking the time to listen to me. And just that act right there could be the life changing thing for them. So, and then I know, like personally, when you go to a professional, the professional got somebody right scheduled behind you. So you all teared up, breaking down, having that breakthrough moment. And as soon as you do, all right, well, you see the receptionist on the way out, and you're like, wait, what? And so, but that person, that relative, that friend that sees the changes, they're going to make time, you know, they're going to make time for you. And it's not a professional that doesn't mean they don't care, but you on a time, you already knew you had 45 minutes. You should have started as soon as you hit the door so we could have got to this point sooner. So I'm making a joke out of it just because it was me. That's how I felt. And but
I've been
thank
there.
God for friends. Huh?
I say I've been there before too. I know.
Yes. Thank God for my friends and my family for listening to me because I'm still here today. And I'm so
Amen.
thankful for that. And I believe truly that's why we have a heart to do this. I used to want to be a social worker. I used to want to be a teacher. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. It just changes all the time. But right now, I just want to be that person that makes an impact for others. And by my testimony, I might not click with you, but hopefully I will with somebody to help change their life, you know, and they'll see this episode right here and we'll reach out either to the crisis center, the ER, one of us, you know, just to talk, just to have that conversation if needed. So, do y'all have any statistics? I know somebody got some statistics. I had some on my phone, but y'all, I can't see. I was like, ooh, I did see that, like in 2019, approximately 51 million people, adults over 18, reported mental illnesses. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot. You know, a
Keyword
lot of people
reported.
mistake having mental difficulties with mental illness. You know, having poor mental health is not necessarily mental illness. I mean, you can have poor mental health by having like a depressive episode or anxious moment. You know, that's poor mental health. It doesn't mean that you have a mental illness. You know, if you're mentally ill, that's something that's pervasive that occurs over a long period with different things manifesting as far as symptoms. But we all have experienced poor mental health. If you live as long as we have at some time in your life where you felt depressed, where you felt anxious, where you felt invisible, you know, or you had low self-esteem, all of those things are considered poor mental health, but they're not necessarily mental illness. And so, the mental illness part is, with the, long-term episodes of depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts, bipolar, different mood disorders. There's a lot of that goes into mental illness.
Mm-hmm. That gets misdiagnosed a lot of times. Do you think?
It can.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot that
because a
goes
lot of
undiagnosed.
what'd you say?
I was just saying it's a lot that goes undiagnosed too as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Randy, did you want to chime in, or your yard man still closer by the window?
He done moved to the backyard now. But what you guys were saying earlier about needing somebody to talk to, I find myself with my job, like I said, I work for Child Protection Services. Just sometimes a parent just needs somebody to talk to. Find myself on the phone, 2 hours done passed. I'm still on the phone with that same parent. They just need somebody to talk to. And so yeah, that's important, having that person that you can just call up. And I have some clients that I've closed cases on from time to time. I'm like, okay, I'm still here. You got my number. Call me, because we don't want another report on you. So call me and talk to me. And let's talk it through. Let's talk it through. But yeah, then there also the undiagnosed mental health issues there. We tend to have a bout of where we have physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental health. I don't know why, but it just seems like we've had a flood of calls just this month, mostly surrounding mental health and parents who they know they have a diagnosis, but don't want to follow through on taking their medications, seeing their therapists, going to their doctors like they should. So we unfortunately see that more than what we should. So we've had to step in a lot this past month, I know, to let a parent know, okay, we need you to get your mental health under control so that it's not affecting the way you're parenting your children.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we were kind of expecting those numbers to increase once people got to talking again and COVID started to kind of settle down a little bit, because so much I think happens like when you're isolated, like you're in the house, and if you're already, like you're saying, in abusive situations and tensions are high and children are not leaving the house to go to school and give the parents the break, you're just going to have more and more of it, but it may not have been being reported. But now, we're seeing the after effects, I guess, if you want to say. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There has been, since schools have opened back up and we're out in the community more, a huge influx of calls and reports being made, because we are out in the open again, to where children were being homeschooled or schooled virtually, to where we didn't have those teachers and social workers out there as those additional eyes to help us keep the children safe and address any issues that they feel is a problem.
And if we can just help the parents, like, early on, because my kids are grown and I'm just now kind of mellowing out. And y'all heard me backstage saying, Sean, my tone is just my tone. I got it from my mom. You know how you say you get it from your mama? I think I got the tone from my mama. But I just parented from a place of anger and a place of unforgiveness and bitterness. And y'all all know, the story. I'm just giving a little recap of it. And it feels so unfair. And you have this parent, this mommy guilt, because you were in an unhealthy place. And so I think now that we're more aware, we can reach out to the parents and try to help them sooner versus later. So you're not 50 years old deciding, hey, I think I'm going to chill out. Why not chill out when your children are small and learn how to relax and have fun with them and, do things, but you're helping the mother or the father learn how to have some coping skills with whatever they have, whether it's just mental health or it's the illness. Did I say it right, Miss Virginia? You said mental health
Well, mental
episode.
health is everything. It's psychological, it's emotional, and it's social. So you're right. If the family as a unit is not addressing all of those domains, everybody's impacted. So and with the COVID, the isolation brings about depressed mood. Sometimes it creates psychosis, a whole lot of things, and not just older people, but young people too, because
Mhm.
we're social creatures. So the COVID kept us in, and a lot of that went amiss as far as socializing. But I want to say this before I forget. I meant to mention it earlier that if you know someone or if someone in your family is suffering with mental illness, I think it's important that people start developing lists of resources, because it's hard to think on the fly when you're trying to get help. So if someone could, start getting numbers to the National Suicide Prevention or sexual abuse or just NAMI, they're great resource. I mean, I call them for everything a lot of times because they're a resource. But to have resources readily available, so if a person starts to exhibit signs and symptoms of decline in their mental health, is important. But right now, what concerns me is that the number of suicides that have increased in the last few years, particularly between 18 and 25-year-olds, young people. And that has a lot to do with genetics. It has a lot to do with COVID, has a lot to do with your socioeconomic statuses. So there are a lot of things that play into mental health. And I think someone mentioned it earlier. It's just as important to get mental health care as it is physical health care. So we have to be mindful that we have to treat ourselves holistically.
Yes, ma'am. Go back to this view. Um, and I had all these numbers available. I was trying to see if I could so here's one. This is the suicide prevention. It says 911 or come on, Z, you can go ahead on and chime in while I'm typing this number. Y'all don't have to wait on me. I told y'all already.
But just to
This is
follow up on what they were saying, in the peer support world, there's what we call a RAP plan, which is a wellness recovery action plan, I believe.
Right.
And that's where we work alongside the clinicians and the patient to kind of keep them on track of what they're doing. We document everything, their behaviors, their medications, everything that's pretty much going on. And over the course of that, we are able to help the clinicians treat them better and get them the support or medications that they may need.
okay.
And particularly in the Black community, there's such a stigma about getting help and taking medicines. I used to be one of those. I didn't believe in giving kids medications, but now I realize that if there's a genetic or a neurological piece or chemical piece to why they're suffering, then medicines is the answer. Besides behavior modification and besides the support. So I'm not so as opposed to that, rather than, but I find that a lot of psychiatrists overprescribe. That's the contention that I have. But medication has its place, just like diet and exercise and spirituality. I think a lot of, because of who we are as a culture, I think spirituality is important. Trying to find something that we believe in, a power greater than us, because we fall short every single day. So if we're just relying on our own strength and our own intelligence, we're going to always come up short. So always having this open-mindedness about spirituality, medications, and getting professional help is so important to people that struggle with poor mental health or mental illnesses. So we can't be ashamed to seek help. We need to be healthy and whole, and we need to do that by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm. You about
And
to
then
preach.
too,
I'm over here about to be like, hey man.
I know
I
we
believe
all
in
grew
this.
up.
I mean, I believe in this is what I live and breathe, to make sure that if one person is struggling, that if we have a resource available to them, let's get it to them, by any means necessary. We can't be shy. We have to be as bold in our sickness and as we are as bold in getting help. So I'm just
Mhm.
saying it's important.
And then to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying about getting help at any means necessary, sometimes when you're going through a mental health break, you're not thinking clearly.
Mm-mm.
So, as a family member, when you see that person going through the mental health break, they're not trying to seek help themselves. There are ways that you can get them the help that they need. Um, like one of the resources that we've had to give to parents to utilize for different family members and stuff like that is going through chancery court to having them committed.
Right.
They'll come in, pick them up, assess them, and then let them know, okay, if they need long term inpatient, that'll be the next step. If they need outpatient, then that'll be the next step. It'll let them know what's going on and where they need to go in regards to their mental health. But like I said, a lot of times when you're going through a mental health break, you're not thinking clearly and you're not trying to seek the help that you need. So sometimes us as family members need to step in and just kind of take that decision from them for their better, pretty much health, livelihood, and all that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well, that's
Just to kind of
amazing.
piggyback
That.
on what she's no, I was just saying.
Oh
Um,
no, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, just to kind of about the stigmas and stuff. I'm sure we all grew up with a family member that was taking nerve pills. That was the name of anxiety and depression meds back in the day.
I need my nerve pill.
So now I'm taking my own nerve pills, and I never knew what they were until I got an adult and I started experiencing my own mental health issues, and I'm like, oh, so this is what y'all was talking about all these years. So it's just having those conversations in your own family too. It's just being open about what we feel, because as the saying goes, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So 9 times out of 10, it comes from a long line of it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you got to start at home with it.
I know. What was I gonna say? Something about that nerve pill. That's funny to me. I haven't heard I need my nerve pill. And you people make a joke. I haven't had my medication, but I think I was gonna say the doctors that are prescribing them, they have someone that they see. They have medication that they take.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason for you. I guess if the doctors open up and said, listen, I take it, it's okay to take it. Maybe people would feel a little bit more relaxed knowing that their doctor, their mother, their sister, but it's so hush hush. No one wants to admit that they're taking some type of medication.
Right.
So, yesterday we went to have dinner. So I'm trying to come together once a month so we can go do something, have dinner, go bowling, whatever. And I was asking the ladies about their mental health, right? And just having that space to share, it takes away that feeling of shame, because you're sitting there and you're sharing information, you're communicating with one another. Hey, this is my story, this is what I went through. And I asked them, I even jotted down a few of the things. I think they said how they help their mental health is play music. We all know we all love some music. Pray, talking to friends. Like Randy said, she on the phone 2 hours, look at the phone, it's 2 hours later, she's still on the phone. But talking to someone who genuinely cares about you, that's helpful. And if they can relate, like if they a little bit of the background, that makes it better too. Because it's not just a new, fresh person. Let's see what else. Break therapy. So I think you get a bucket or something, and then you take these bottles and you smash them in. I think that's almost like anger therapy, some type of anger management. But you take the bottles and you throw them down. And let's see. I can't read my handwriting. Oh, someone said that their granny told them no matter how hard the storm is, everything was going to be all right, and to always pray. Ain't it something about grandmothers?
Yeah.
Grandmothers will make an impact. Like that's what you remember. I remember Granny used to say, "Yes, Lord." Meditate, pray. This was another one. Quiet time, candles, devotional, and just being in a state of peace.
Mm-hmm.
This lady also said that she would journal and write. So there's different ways, and different things works for different people. And
Mm-hmm.
then a different situation will call for something else. You know, one day just taking a bubble bath might help, but the next
Mm-hmm.
time you having an episode or a crisis, writing things down and keeping a journal. And I mean, I'm a firm believer. I just have a problem writing down things. So I love to journal, but I just can't bring myself to
Mm-hmm.
journal, if that makes any sense. I always had this fear that someone was gonna find it, you know, like your mama find your diary. So you saying I'm not doing that again. I'm writing nothing down no more because somebody gonna find it. But you know, journaling is good. You just keep it in a safe place and write it down. That's truly therapy. Oh, here's Turned Up Fitness. He's in Atlanta. He has a gym. So hello, welcome, welcome. He said, "Let's go, ladies."
You know,
Oh
you were
yeah.
talking about all those things that those ladies wrote, but they're and it's a mind body connection that's
Mm-hmm.
important. Taking care
Mm-hmm.
of your body, you know, do massage, you can do acupressure, acupuncture. I mean, you can do a lot of things that help your mental state if you stay consistent. You know, doing it one time does not usually clear unless it's just a mental you know, like trouble at that moment. But if you have true mental illness, it's about having a plan. It's about having consistent, constant care. And people with mental illnesses do recover. You know, you don't have to be sick all your life. You know, people think that once you are whatever straight jacketed or whatever that you can't live a life, uh, but you can with therapy, with medicine, with constant, really good care. So if people that are listening even feel hopeless and helpless, you know, there's always hope. That's what I'm saying. There's always help. And you know, a lot of times we sit here looking like we have it all together, and sometimes we're the ones that's breaking down. And I heard this quote where it says, "I couldn't heal because I couldn't admit that I was hurt." And so sometimes just admitting that you're hurting, that you're lonely, that you're sad, whatever the case may be, is part of the healing process. It's kind of like in substance abuse. The first step to getting sober is to admitting that you have a substance issue. With
Mm-hmm.
mental illness, it's the same thing. I have depression, I have anxiety, I have low self-esteem. I think I hear voices. Part of getting healthy is admitting that you have a problem.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Turned Up Fitness says one of the three biggest challenges: activity, quality food, and recovery. So I was just thinking, Miss Virginia, as you were talking, I had a really good friend. She did self care, like she showed herself some self love and some serious
Mhm.
self care. And I couldn't afford it. Like, it just, I couldn't afford it. And I was just thinking to myself, what if we could have these additional resources available for women to go free of charge that couldn't afford it, to do, you know, just almost like mental health spa day
Mm.
for the things that you just mentioned, the massage, getting your nails done, getting, I don't know, a facial, not anything too extreme, but to be able to go there and take care of yourself when there's a financial need, because not having the money is also brings on depression and brings on anxiety and brings on all sorts of things that, again, you don't know how to deal with it. You don't
Mhm.
have anybody to talk to. So if we can make that where it's funded, that would just be so amazing.
Well, that
I,
sounds like community advocacy, Ms. Z. You've got your finger on the pulse of those agencies, you know,
mhm,
and that's an awesome idea because
Yes.
there again, people are being seen where they feel invisible. They're being touched, and a lot of people don't get healthy touch. You know, massage is important
Mhm.
because there's a lot of abuse and you know issues around touch. So if we could have community advocacy for that, um, That would be great. I mean, I do my part. I do massages for friends and family, free because I think it's important. I don't have a table anymore. I gave it away so I wouldn't be forced to do massages. But I mean, I used to do that as part of my treatment is touch because people don't have healthy touch a lot of times.
I
You
need
know,
an appointment.
see, that's why I gave away my table.
Let's do with community service. We're gonna do a fundraiser to get you a table back because
Oh
I need
God. But I'm just saying it's important that, if
that.
you know of support groups, if you know of groups that advocate for wellness, that's who you get in touch with.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely agree. There's a lot of funding available out there for projects like this. Without
Grant
revealing too
writing.
much, I'm
Yeah.
working on a similar project of that. So it's in the works. There's a lot of things in the works for mental health, especially in Pearl River County. But yeah, I definitely agree. We definitely need more self care. Self care
Mm-hmm.
is one of the major parts of maintaining your mental health.
Absolutely.
Well, then that's awesome to know that it's in the works. So maybe we can, work together to make it happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that we can change these lives one child at a time, one adult at a time. And it doesn't matter the age. Some people have a heart for the elderly. Some people have a heart for children. Some people have a heart for folks like me. It's right there
Yeah.
over the hill on the hump.
Right.
But whatever age you are, your mental health matters, your mind matters, and it's so important to take care of you by any means necessary. If it's just going to take a shower, if you have clean water available to you, take you a shower. Just relax.
Mm-hmm.
Stay as long as the water stays warm or hot or however you like it. Just stay there and let it just wash your cares away. Like, it just does something to me just to take a shower. You're like, oh gosh, I hate to get out. I just stand this way and then I turn around and stand the other way. But I'm saying that just to say, use what you have. Use what you have until you're able to do some of these other things, until you're able to go get a massage or do things like that. Take time to relax, meditate, get away from all the noise, but don't isolate yourself, because in that isolation, that's when, if you don't have a healthy mind and healthy thoughts, it'll just take over. It'll take over, and then you'll be on a spiral downhill, and we don't want that to happen. So hopefully these things are blessing you and you're able to take note and share it with someone else. I know I took this suicide awareness class so that you can actually ask that hard question to people. Because who says, are you thinking about suicide? We don't usually say that. But in that class, it's like when people are talking about being hopeless or feeling hopeless, you have to ask them, you're not thinking about hurting yourself or anyone else, are you? And then what are they going to say? Actually, I was. Sometimes they might. And you might open up that conversation to say, listen, let me help you. Let me get you some help. Don't let them leave in that state. So, oh, there's Miss Brenda. Oh, let's see. Turned Up says, love what y'all doing, ladies. Time to link up and get turned up. Yes, indeed. Miss Brenda says, meditation and guided emerging.
Imagery.
Say that for me.
Since we have Mr. Turned Up Fitness here, one of the things that I've been doing recently to help me is ice baths. I was in chiropractor services, and that's usually used for athletes and stuff like that. But it has done wonders for my mental health. It makes me just feel like I don't know, the clarity is so amazing after I take an ice bath. So that's something I've been doing recently. It's a little shocking. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There, it is a little shocking at first, but once you know, get your body adjusted to it and stuff, it is definitely has some health benefits to it.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Wow.
neurological reset. That's what they call it.
Literally.
You know, you have neural pathways that change the way you think and feel, and when they're shocked, whether through breathing or massage or through ice baths or showers, then it gives you an opportunity to reset. If you're going down one path, it just stops that path, particularly if it's destructive or depressive or negative. It's a neurological reset. It just changes the path of your thoughts. And you know, I always say that your mind believes what you tell it. So when someone is constantly spewing negative things about themselves, that's all they get. They get the negative energy, the negative vibes, you know, that woe unto me. But sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, you know, making positive affirmations. Sometimes even when you don't feel it, your brain hears it. You know, people think that thoughts and feelings control them, but we actually are more powerful than our thoughts and our emotions. We control them. So we have the power and the dominion and the authority to
Told you.
tell our brains exactly what we want to think and feel that day. And it's we forget how powerful we are. You
Yes.
know, emotions are just things that come up. The body goes, you know, the brain goes, what about this? What about this? You capture the thought, you determine what you do with the thought, and you can either dispose of it or reshape it or redirect it. And people forget how powerful we are, because in those moments we feel helpless and powerless, like these thoughts are stronger than us. And it's a lie. It's a lie. The brain believes what you tell it. And I always tell my clients, you know how I know? Because when I see people running marathons on metal feet, you know how many people tell them that they can't run, that they shouldn't be able to go out there and compete, but they tell themselves, I can do this, and they do, with no legs, no feet. I'm just saying, you running on metal. And so you have already told yourself, you've already empowered yourself to say that I can do this. Just like we can say, I can get through this night, I can get through this
Mhm.
moment. I don't have to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? We can tell ourselves that, and the brain goes, it provides every chemical we need to reset. You know, all of the, you know, chemicals. I won't even get into that. But the brain has all these chemicals that direct our moods and our thoughts and our emotions, and we can direct those, we can control those.
Okay, I gotta say wow, and then wow. So first, my first wow is this ice bath. Like my whole body felt shocked just to hear you say, "Oh, we're doing ice baths." What? Ugh. And I
Start with your
learned
face.
how to,
Start with your
huh?
face. Start with just your face first, and then go to full body.
I did see that. Just making your in a bowl, you put some
Mm-hmm.
ice and some water, and then
Mm-hmm.
stick your face down in. Okay, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it. I'll be like this next time y'all see me, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
Oh,
I
God.
am. I'm gonna give it a shot. But then Miss Virginia, she was saying, I think she said fake it, and I changed it to faith it. Faith it till you make it. And it's so important for those people, for everyone really, to do affirmations, because it does make you feel so powerful to stand there and say, I am, and I can, and I will, and I do. Whatever you put behind that I am, it really is powerful. And it's amazing that you don't know some of these things. They teach us certain things in school, but not other things. And it's like, we need to go back and revamp this whole thing that we teach these children about life, because they don't know how to deal with it.
Mm-mm.
Like the things that they find important in the books, we need to change that, because what just some algebra? Like I needed to know about some mental health. I haven't used algebra,
Mhm.
not that I know of, since I left school, and you made me take it for 3-4 years. I needed to know how to deal and how to cope with certain things. And I don't know. I just really think that we need to redo a whole lot of things, because each generation, you hear it say, oh, this generation is different than when I was coming up. And then you hear, oh, this generation. I mean, you just keep hearing it, because it just keeps changing and changing, and more things are becoming acceptable. How are these young kids even knowing about suicide? Because it's just all out there. Their little minds are not protected from anything. Everything goes, everything's on social media. And so it's like we really have to go back and say, listen, what are we doing wrong? Why are we having all these things that's just going wrong? I know if you're a Bible scholar, you're like, the Bible is being fulfilled. Well, why it's being fulfilled? We need to do what we can do in order to make it through, like, and make it through successfully, if I'm making any type of sense, like
Mm-hmm.
doing what we can so that these killings and these suicides and this depression, someone can say, you know what, I watched the live, I heard Z, I heard Miss Virginia, I listened to what Randy said, and y'all changed my life. Like, I was about to go commit suicide and call it a day. Like, I don't even want to do it anymore. But because of what you said, I went and just did a little bit of self care. I put my face in some ice. I went and laid on a table and got, a massage. I called social services. Whatever it was that we said, it's just so important that we're making a difference and changing lives, one live at a time. Each time we go live, we try to give you something to take away that's going to be beneficial to you. So I don't know, y'all. I was about to get all emotional because I'm still here. I did not want to be here, but because someone listened to me, someone said, you don't have to do that. Let's do this. And that this for me was like my mom taking me to the doctor, getting me the medication that I needed
Mm-hmm.
so that I could make it through another day. And then once I made it through that day, I made it through another day and then another day. And I'm like, wow, I've made it some years and I'm
Amen.
still here. And not only just here, I'm here helping. So we don't want to just exist. Our lives are made for purpose. Like, we're made for relationships. We're made to help one another. So let's do that. Girl, I love that big dimple. I'm just like, that dimple is just popping out at me saying, here I am. Woo, but I'm gonna sit back. I'm done. I'm done because I ain't even trying to cry. I just had to get that out because I was wild about the ice bath and I was wild about what Miss Virginia said. And we're gonna let Randy come on because she just over there nodding her head and say whatever is on her mind that you want to say. Girl, you got something you want to say?
Well, I'm gonna jump in on what you said that you did, and that's what you have to do. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. I got through this day. Okay. I wake up tomorrow morning. I got through this day. Just take it one day at a time. You can't go in there and plan everything out a year in advance because you don't know how you're going to be affected. You can be fine today, but then have a flare up or an issue with your mental health the next day. So that's what you have to do. You have to take it one step at a time and take it from day to day, and just continue to try to be the best you that you can be.
Mm-hmm. So how did you do that? What did you
Well,
do?
well, a few years back, I was diagnosed with anxiety. I had some anxiety issues after um, discovering one of my cousins murdered and then going through a whole bunch of deaths in 1 year. I had to get on some anxiety medications. It's been several years since I've been on it. Now I just follow my faith. My faith in God is what keeps me grounded. Um, with my job is very stressful. There are some days I go in there, my mom, I'm like, Mama, I don't think I can do this anymore. And she'll talk to him. It's like, it's gonna be okay. We gonna get through this day, and we gonna make it to tomorrow. And so just taking it one day at a time. And whenever I feel my mind just kind of racing, what I do, I try to slow myself down. I like to go for walks. So when I've had a crazy stressful day during the day, I like going over to the Picayune Commons, walking up and down the boulevard, just kind of clearing my mind, listening to music, and just kind of grounding myself from a crazy stressful day that I might have had.
Mm.
So that's what I do now in order to just kind of keep myself calm. Don't let the anxiety flare up like it tends to want to from time to time. Just kind of slow my mind down a little bit and just continue to tell myself, okay, just accept what God allows. He is not going to leave me. And just stay prayed up. I pray a lot. I pray a lot. I pray before I go into my job. I pray while I'm in there, and I'm praying when I'm leaving that evening. So yeah, that's what I I do now to help myself. So my faith is what's keeping me grounded and good through my mental health.
All right. Okay. I know sometimes if we think about the future and trying to figure out what's all going to take place and what all we need to do, that causes the anxiety. And then if we're looking back at what happened, what had happened was that's when we find ourselves depressed. And so we hear this phrase, be present in the moment, so often is because it helps you to just breathe and center yourself because you're not worried about tomorrow because we're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to anyway. So that causes the anxiety. And then if we're looking back, we're feeling depressed because we are living in that wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda state.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do about it because it's in the past. So once we really, really master being present in the moment, and like Randy said, pray and pray some more, like meditate and do your affirmations, seek the help that you need, man, you're going to be amazed at how great life can be. And it really is. And so instead of saying you only live once, we live every day. We only die once. So live in the moment, live every day, and make it through that day. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to worry about the world because you can't. Just figure out what you need to do, get centered and grounded, and come tell us your testimony. Come tell your testimony that this is what life was like. And I did this, and now I'm here because somebody is going to be able to relate to you. Someone on this live was able to relate to Z. Somebody was able to relate to me. Someone was able to relate to Miss Virginia's story and Randy's story. So you don't have to try to be anybody else. Just be you, and you'll be relatable. You'll be able to change somebody else's life by your testimony. Because every time I tell it now, I think I feel empowered. Like I'm like, I'm not bound by that. I'm not, it doesn't control me anymore what had happened to me. Like I am controlling my thoughts because I am worthy, you know, I am special. I just start telling myself good things about me, and you're not trying to be arrogant. You're just trying to make it day. People see you, and sometimes they judge you, and it's the wrong way. They don't have a clue. You just trying to make it through today.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
right.
you keep telling your testimony because your testimony is connected to somebody else who
Right.
needs to hear what you've gone through to let them know, hey, I'm going to be okay. She's
Exactly.
okay. I'm going to be okay. So God wants us to tell our testimony
That's right.
so that hey, we can show how good he is, how good he has been to us, and that he has got us through the issues and the situations that we've been in, and that they can get through it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes,
There you
ma'am.
go.
Yes, ma'am.
There you
Amen.
go. Right. I think I also jotted down this right here. We've already touched on it, but I'm just gonna say there's things that you can do to cope. Talk about your feelings. Keep in touch with people. And so it was hard during COVID, like Miss Virginia said, that isolation just makes it even worse. So now that we're able to go and touch and talk and hug, it helps because it's just something about touch. Keep active. That's what Turned Up Fitness was saying. Eat well, ask for help, take a break.
Mm.
Sometimes our schedules are so busy. It's like, what is a break? What is a break? Look at Z up there just rubbing her head. What's a break? Um, and do something that you're good at. Doesn't that give you a confidence boost whenever you
Mhm.
actually do something that you're good at? So
Yes.
I wanted to just say those things right there. Do something that you're good at. Take a break. Eat well. Exercise. keep active, talk to a friend, and those are things that you can do to cope. Let's see, we had another comment. That's Clarissa. This was so good to hear all these different things to do, especially the ice bath. Girl, let us know how it come out. Let us know. So I'm just gonna close. I'm gonna make sure that I give Sunshine Body Butter, thank them for sponsoring tonight's episode. And then also for you to get 10% off, use CWC Spring 22 and she will give you 10% off of your order. She has some amazing products and great customer service. So please reach out to her. And I'm going to start with Miss Randy, go to Miss Z, and then Miss Virginia for the closing remarks. So what is it that you would finally, if you had to say, if you got nothing else from this show, what do you want people to have as a takeaway? Start with you, Miss Randy.
Just the fact that one thing that was said earlier, just because you have a mental health or a mental illness does not mean you're crazy. Go out and seek the help that you need, and whatever the help may be. It might just be you need to talk to somebody. You might just need counseling. You might need medication. But whatever it is, there's no shame in asking for help when it comes to your mental health. Whenever you've gone through a trauma, suffered a trauma, you might have not had any mental health issues before, but if you don't address the trauma that you've gone through, then that could bring about a mental health issue. So you don't necessarily have to have a mental health issue in order to talk to somebody. So go out and talk to people, and seek and utilize those resources that are within your community. And myself, Miss Virginia, Miss Z, we've given you guys our numbers. We have access to resources if you don't know where to look and turn in regards to getting the resources that you need for your mental health. And I'm pretty sure we have access to other resources that you might need aside from mental health. So please feel free to reach out and utilize what we can provide to you.
Thank you so very much. I tried to edit that and threw the wrong number up there real quick, but I took it down. All right, Miss Z.
I guess to close it out, as my great grandmother used to say, keep on living every day. It's rough out here right now for a lot of people. It's a lot of different things going on every day. But take time for you. Do what you have to do for you to keep you sane, keep you here, most importantly. And yeah, be who you are. Share what you do. Keep sharing your testimonies. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you need me, I'm here.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Virginia. Let you close it out. You open it up. I'm gonna let you close it on out for
all
us.
right. Well, I just want to say that you can't heal what you're not willing to confront, and that that whatever you are, you're good enough. You're wise enough. You're strong enough. You're powerful enough. And no one can take that away from you because you're unique and you're a miracle and you're a gift. So we're all human, and at times we all struggle. And like I think Randy said, there's no shame in asking for help. So I encourage you to confront whatever it is that's making you uncomfortable, that's making you feel not centered, and take your power back. Take your power back.
I left you front and center while I was adjusting the dashes.
Thank you.
No, but y'all ladies, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Y'all said yes. I mean, I didn't even have to ask twice. It's like, let me know. I will definitely do it. And this has been an amazing night for me. Every time I go live, I get excited. I could be feeling, now this is therapy for me because I could be feeling down and I'm like, oh, I'm about to go live. And it just perks me up and I'll take a shower. Y'all can't smell me, but I go take a shower anyway. Y'all don't know, but it just does something to me. So I do my water therapy and then I do my live therapy. And you have to find out what makes you happy, what puts you in a space that is healthy. And I love doing this and I hope it shows. I'm not perfect, but if you look at the video that I did 2 years ago versus how confident I am now, you'd be like, oh, you done came a long way. You got a long way to go, but you have come a long way. And so for that, you have to celebrate. You have to celebrate the achievement and not be critical of yourself saying, well, I messed up on this. I'm not going to get off of here and say, I wish I could have, would have, or I messed up. I did it, and done is better than perfect. We try so hard sometimes to be perfect that we do nothing. Ask me, I know. You get so overwhelmed and you want to do all this stuff. No, just back up, do what you can, because done is better than perfect, right? Progress is better than perfection.
Amen.
So I'm going to show up. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to say, good job, girl. Do better next time. Do improve. Don't wait till the last minute to have your technician up in here working on the computer, because that gets your anxiety up. I'm like, we're about to go live and it's not even working. I thought you had it working. So there's things that you can do truly to help yourself. I don't put my keys in the same spot. I'm causing anxiety. Some of this stuff is self-inflicted. I'm causing anxiety because I don't know where my keys are. So then I'm tearing up the house, screaming at the kids, and then I'm causing them some trauma. So they were like, oh my gosh, she is crazy. I asked Sean if I was mean the other day. He said, mean wasn't it? Maybe a little crazy. I was like, ooh, this is how my children see me. But it's the truth. You create havoc in your house sometimes when you have the power and the ability to create peace by being repetitive or consistent. Put your keys in the same place. I don't know. I use the keys as an example. Now I'm stuck on give me another example, y'all. Something else that you could do.
Plan, prepare.
Plan, prepare. Because what's that saying? Failure to plan is planning to fail.
If you don't plan, what is it? Y'all know it.
But y'all get the point.
Yeah.
So yes, just create a peaceful environment for you and your family. And then that, I don't know, somebody's in the group. So when you're in the group, it doesn't show your name unless you put it. But they said, wonderful live. I gained a lot on tonight. So that's great. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm still working on me over here, but celebrate your successes. Don't minimize them, but just be like, girl, you did great. Sir, you're awesome. So we don't want to just address women. We're addressing people. We love people, men, women, children, young, middle age, and old. Whatever it is, we're here to help. Whatever your age, whatever your problem, we want to be the resource center. If we can't do it, we want to guide you in the direction of where someone can help you, whether it's a hotline, whether it's in person, a hospital. Ask Miss Z. She's learning firsthand of how to defuse a situation and get people help. And so we just love it. And I love y'all. I don't think I have anything else. We've been on here an hour and 13 minutes. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Y'all might be hungry, thirsty, or gotta go. So we gonna close it out and go share a smile and spread some sunshine. And I love y'all so much. Have an amazing night. Ladies, y'all hold on for just a second and then I'm going to close it out. Hold on one second. But I'm saying good night to everyone else. Y'all say good night, y'all.
Good night, guys.
Good night.